Morning, everyone. Welcome to the live show. Well, it's morning here. It might be a different time of the day for you guys. Might be good evening or good afternoon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live show again. We're going to be live and we're going to have a look at a few things that are going on, and we're going to talk about trading as usual. Hope you guys are all well. Hope you guys are all having a really good trading month, week, day, whatever the situation. And I hope you're getting through all okay. From our side in South Africa, we've got our president visiting the American president and trying to solve some issues because we sent a whole bunch of refugees to America, or they went there, stating that we've got a bit of genocide. And yeah, it's a bit pear-shaped. So he's gone there to explain that it's not genocide and everything's kind of okay. We shall see. We shall see how that goes. And that might be why our rand is strengthening a little bit, or getting a little bit stronger at the moment. I have started a few minutes early. Hope you guys don't mind. I just sort of kick it off and get it going and get us on the road for the day. And congratulations, David, last week for being the second winner of two-step 10K challenge account. Hope it's working out for you. And then let's get on with it. Let's go and have a look at what's going on in the markets. I'll just put my face sort of at the top there. And I'm just going to use these charts. I've got the other ones as well. If you want to pull a trade, we'll just go on there and we'll just go and get going with that. That's no problem. If you prefer the other ones, we can use those as well. But some people complain with the logical trading, they can't see through it. So I'm just going to use these charts today, and we'll work off there. It's also a bit easier for me to find the other stuff that I want to show you, like the news and such like. Look, the United States dollar, South African rand, this has been an interesting entity for me. It is sort of a descending triangle, which, yeah, if you look at that pattern, there's a good chance that that's going to go flying up. You know, the result of the South African president and the American president meeting could send this in either direction, but effectively we've been sitting at these weak levels for quite a long time. This is when our when our refugee thing started over here, and all the stories and all the bad news around South Africa, and you know how broke we are and all the rest of it, and all the money's been used up. That all probably started up here when it went so high, and now it's come back down to 18 again. When you look at the McDonald's formula, which is how much is a Big Mac all over the world, we should be at 10 to 1, and we're at 18 to 1, and I expect it'll get worse, probably go to 20 to 1, because the guys that run our country are pretty stubborn, and I don't think they want to hear anything other than what they want to hear. So I don't think it's going to be resolved. I don't think it's going to go that easy, but there might be some sort of more peace of mind from both sides when they talk to each other and they find out a little bit more about each other. You know, because it looks like President Trump believes that we're living in genocide in South Africa and everybody's just getting killed by the government, when in fact it's more to do with the sort of very far left-wing factions and more the criminals and that sort of thing that are killing our farmers, and there's not enough protection for them, let's say that. But then we can't really afford to pay the police force, so you can't expect too much from that. But it's not like the government themselves are going out there and actually hurting people or killing people. But then there comes the Land Expropriation Acts and the BEE, the Economic Empowerment thing, which is racist towards the white people and the colored people and the Indian people in the country, the minorities, let's say, the minorities. And that is an issue of bone of contention. But then a lot of people are saying, but then we have to cure what happened in the past. And so there's a lot of stories that go around the politics, which could cause this to go either way. So US dollars ZAR, I'm kind of, I don't think it's going to go well. It's going to go 200%. And I think it probably will weaken a little bit at the end of the day. So don't expect too much from that, because there's always three sides to a story. It's your side, my side, and the truth. You know, the trouble with any argument is, if we have whatever discussion or argument, whether it be politicians or people on the ground, by definition, if you're right, I must be wrong. And this is always the problem with any argument in the world, and it causes things to go up and down. It causes markets to move around. The trouble with the world is run by politicians, not by people. Well, people, they're human beings. But what I'm saying is, the people on the ground, wherever you go in the world, are normal and friendly and want to communicate and talk to each other. The people on the ground don't hate each other. And then what happens is the politicians sort of try and pull everyone apart for whatever reason and destroy that and make out that there's a hatred between everyone, and there really isn't. I mean, you could go to Russia and go and visit those areas in Russia, and you'll find that people are really decent. They'll invite you in for a vodka, a meal. It's just, it boggles the mind to think that the governments of the world are fighting when you have these scenarios. So S&P 500, yeah, everybody's freaking out about the market. And the Moody's downgrade, we haven't talked about the Moody's downgrade. Sorry, I'm laughing because for me, the Moody's downgrade is a bit of a joke. Excuse the lighting today, guys. It's finally decided to rain in South Africa. So we have a bit of rain. We've got Scotland's weather. It's Kevin here. We've taken your weather and we've got it here in Cape Town. Yeah. So how's it, Shane? How's it, Elaine? Good to see you. And Danny, yay. Good to have you guys. Yeah, vodka does sound good, Shane. Yeah, no, that's true. Actually, I'm married into a Czech family, and as well, and they like a good vodka after a meal. So I did learn to have a vodka now and then. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's the thing. That's just my point of view, is that the people on the ground get kind of hurt by what happens in the powers that be. They create the narrative, and then everybody's now supposed to suddenly hate everyone, And it really doesn't work like that in reality. There are those radicals that join these far left-wing and far right-wing groups way out there. And the one thing, I did a lot of research on it and looked into it, and it's really only, usually about 7% of the country that gets involved in this rubbish. And the rest of the majority get held to ransom by it somehow. And yeah, it's not great. Not great. That the rest of us should be held to ransom by all that gold. Let's have a look at gold. Gold is it's kind of falling over, isn't it? It looks a bit weak. It's not strong as we stand at the moment. There was that head and shoulders. It didn't really play out, and it went back up, broke the head, but then it hit this level and came back down again. Now I see there is a gap here that it needs to fill up. So it's probably going to go back up to this trend resistance up here. And then I think it's going to sort of bounce down again. That trend resistance is probably going to line up with filling that gap up. So it looks like it's probably going to head on there and do that. The gold, a lot of people, I was actually saying it in the members video this morning in the members area when I was doing trade of the day, that the way I see gold, a lot of people, there's a 50-50 on this. There's a lot of people calling it to 7,000, and there's a lot of people calling it to 1,500. And between the two, they're both rather extreme. For me, I just feel that gold is just going to settle here for a while, find its range, and just get its feet, so to speak. Because let's be honest, if the US 500 flies off to the moon and goes north, then I can't really see where gold can go with it. Gold is a safe haven trade, always has been. And while it has been kind of following with the markets, at the end of the day, if the markets were to crash, then gold should have some strength or hold on. But if markets go really well and the US 500 does the right thing and the DAX and all that, gold shouldn't be that strong. It should actually start falling off a bit, because the people that are invested in gold for safe haven will take that money, start putting it back into shares, start putting it back into the US 500. So yeah, no guys, I can't see gold going to extreme levels like 7,000 and that. It might find its way up to 4,000 tops, but I think it's going to settle between the 2 and 4,000 or 2 and 3.5. It's just going to sit around here for a while. It might fall back down into the 2s, but no, I don't see it going anywhere soon. Not this year anyway. I don't see it this year. I see the US 500 doing something this year. So yeah, no rain and due until the weekend here. Like I say, Kevin, we got it all. We got all your rain this week. So yeah, so Shane and Kevin have had a good week trading, and for me, it's the beginning of the week, and actually yesterday I didn't take a trade. Yesterday I was out gallivanting around, so I didn't take a trade, unfortunately. But I'll look today. I was actually looking at today's trade, the US dollar, Japanese yen, thinking of that. Now, yesterday we said the Nikkei for a short. And yeah, but I was looking at this level that it had to really break through at 37229 odd. I didn't draw it in here. I must actually draw this in. Let me just draw that in on this. It's not on this platform. That's why I didn't draw it in here. There is a line that it needs to drop below. Somewhere around here. Just needs to drop below that. And then we know that it's a decent short. So yeah, let's just leave that in there. I just want to have a look. US dollar, Japanese yen. This one is an interesting trade for a short. Now, I was about to take the short, but this has gone green. So just waiting to see if that's going to start turning red again, because it could break back through this level. This is a really big trend that it's sitting in. And if it's broken the trend, great. But then I kind of need that candle to sort of confirm it. Because it looks like it wants to break back. It could be just a retest, but it could break back into the range, to the upward trend, and then you're in trouble with the trade. It's not going to work out. So I just want to wait and see what's going to happen with that. But that looks like a reasonably good trade to have. I don't know what you guys are trading this week. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Euro, Great British Pound, Great British Pound, what we got here. Very bearish. Has been bearish for quite a while. Has been falling to the downside. So, if I look at this, you've got the big head and shoulders there, and it pushed it down, but it's gone down sort of twice as far as one would expect. There is a level at the bottom here that it can pick up, very much a support at around about the 83. So your risk to reward's not good for a short at the moment, but all the shorts all the way down here would have been pretty good. But if it breaks this structure and starts heading to the upside, you might get quite a decent trade on the euro. Great British Pound doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. German DAX. This is one of my favorites. Always like the German DAX. If you look at the German DAX, oh guys, I don't normally have the volume on the bottom, and it just happens to be on these charts. Don't worry about it. Don't stress. Okay, don't stress. Okay, so if this is moving along here, DAX looks pretty long, but the risk to reward on this, it's very difficult to call, because it's in such a strong bullish trend, and the bullish trend is just pushing it to the upside all of the time. I wouldn't want to be short on this at the moment, because you really are fighting against the waves. It's like swimming in the sea against the waves. You're really pushing your luck. So you want to wait for it to really break structure and give you a good signal that it wants to go short. But that said, there's money lying here. There's money lying here. So it might come back and take that money and then go long. I'd say that the DAX is going to continue on its merry road, man. It's going the right way. It's going that way. It seems to be quite happy going down that road. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? Good to have you back again. So, yeah, that was cool last week that David won the challenge account. That was great fun. And we'll give another one away on Thursday. So don't forget to drop your comments on the... I'm going to use the educational videos. It's always easier. So the Monday and Friday videos, or if there's one on Wednesday. Then let's have a look at the news. To do that, you see, I've made life easier for myself now. Much easier. I simply click on here, and we can go and have a look at the news. There we go. Now we can check out the news. Stock futures slip as investors fear trade relief could fade fast. You see, the trade relief is, the Moody's downgraded, everybody panicked for a while, and then everybody went back up again yesterday. It's kind of like buy the dip. And you can, because I don't think a Moody's downgrade for America is going to make an insane difference to the country, to be honest, to be fair. Trump's tax bill just passed a key hurdle. Something deep is going in financial markets right now. Citi CEO Jamie Dimon said something. Where is he? Let's see him here. Dimon sees extraordinary amounts of complacency as markets rebound. Yeah, this is how markets go. They, traders buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy, because you see that curve going up. And then when it starts going down, people ignore it because they can't believe that the market could possibly be going down. So yeah, that's also an issue. See how NVIDIA did it? Right back to where it was at the beginning of the year. So happy with that. Somebody commented that I always go on about my NVIDIA, but why shouldn't I? I'm quite chuffed with the fact that it's done so well. Seriously. Deny me the hope of making some money, eh? Gee, it was, tell you what. Yeah. But sometimes the oaks are right. I do repeat myself quite often, but if I don't, you guys won't learn to trade. I find that repeating myself quite often with the strategy and things like that, because what is trading? Trading is repetitive. You do the same things over and over and over again. That's why it's boring. That's why it's lonely. You do the same things over and over again. If you start doing different things in trading every 5 minutes, then you're probably going to lose. You need consistency. Consistency is key. You need patience, and you need to do the same things over and over again. So if my videos tend to repeat themselves, it's because trading repeats itself. That's the whole point of trading, the whole point of trading in the markets. It's quite insane. People don't know this, but the whole point of trading in the markets is that these charts tend to repeat themselves. It tends to, in all probability, the same thing that occurred last week will occur this week. And human beings are creatures of habit. I keep saying this. And we're going to keep on doing the same things over and over again. We'll keep on making the same mistakes, and we keep on making the same positive moves. That's why we trade off charts, because there's a pattern, and we follow that pattern. So if I'm repeating myself, it's because that's what life is. It repeats itself, and the charts repeat themselves over and over again. It's a high probability trade. You wouldn't have a high probability trade if things didn't repeat themselves, would you? I actually find it insane that someone actually said that. Anyway, yeah, that's the account, the Fund Your FX. There is a link for that in the description. That's the one where we give away the challenge account on a Thursday. Dimon sees extremely amount of complacency. Honda pulls back on EV strategy for now and will push hybrid sales. I'm a bit worried about Honda. Honda 69% down on profit. Nissan and Honda were talking about joining hands to try and save their companies, because both of them are in big trouble. And now I believe Nissan is in big trouble, and they're closing their factory in South Africa, possibly. There's no confirmation of that, but there's a lot of rumor around it, a lot of story going around it. So if I was in the market for a car today, I would probably avoid Nissan like the plague, which is not good news for them, because that's just going to make things worse, isn't it? That's the trouble with the media, is they let the cat out of the bag. And I mean, you as a consumer are going to think, but if I buy a car, I want my warranty, I want my guarantee, I want my after-sales service. So I don't want a company that's going to disappear now, do I? I guess that's the same with anything, mobile phone, whatever. So if you hear news like that, it's not going to help the company. It's just going to make things worse. So that just causes the share price to drop even further, and its value to drop even further. Boom. Apple supplier Foxconn to invest $1.5 billion in India units. So Apple's looking good. Nike cuts some jobs. Oil steadies as Trump retreats from Ukraine-Russia peace talks. It's interesting that Trump has retreated from the Ukraine-Russia peace talks. Vodafone says Germany will return to growth this year. Japan's Honda to scale back on electric vehicles, concentrate on hybrids. Why is electric vehicles are falling by the wayside, guys? It's really, I don't think the future's with electric cars anymore. I think they're going to find something else. Not looking good. Here's the trade of the day. If you guys want to copy that and go through it, but it is on the posts. So if you go to the area, you'll find it there. Okay, so that's German DAX, eh? Oh. Okay. Rob, look at your chats. All right, I'm looking at my chats. Shane, okay. Hey, Rob, your disclaimer is blocking the chart screen. Oh, so sorry. How did I do that? Oh my goodness. There you go. Is that better? It's a pity you can't shout at me, eh? Do I have to go through all that again? You see, you typed Rob in long letters, but I couldn't hear you, man. Eh? Kevin, disclaimer. Okay, it's out the way now. It was only a few minutes, eh? Come on. But it is bad, eh? How did I leave the disclaimer on there? I didn't see it, and on my side, so that's why. Oh well, if you guys don't know what the disclaimer says by now, then I don't know, because it's been there for so long. I hope you guys all read it. So the whole point of me leaving it there for the last 20 minutes is so that you can write this test. I'm just going to put it up here, right? Yeah, your neighbors heard you, Kevin. I can only have a good laugh. Right, so down in the bottom left-hand corner here is the Japanese Nikkei, the Euro Great British Pound, and the United States dollar Japanese yen. Oh my goodness, that's silly disclaimer. Yeah. Yeah, well, it should be all good now. I took it off. Took it out the way. So now, all that you missed, I'll go back to the news. And this is all that you missed, okay? So it's not that bad, actually. It's just this over here. And I think you still would have seen all of this stuff on the right here. So that's okay. And I'm sure you would have seen this news story on the left. And oil steadies as Trump retreats from Ukraine-Russia peace talks. You might have missed that. But yeah, not much on the news side that you would have missed. So that's okay. And then on this side, yeah, all good. Yeah, trust me to do that. See, as older you get, the more mistakes you make, actually, because you don't really mind. Yeah, so this USA ZAR, what a picture, eh? What a picture. It's bouncing along the support, and I wonder what they're going to say. I actually really wonder what they're going to say on the other side, how the meeting's going to go, because I'm really concerned for old Cyril from South Africa when he goes there, because old Trumpy is quite clever when he's chatting. Euro Aussie dollar. Let's have a look at it. Sonia, is it normally by FungiFX that you see all your trades in one? No, no, it's not. It depends which platform you're running. This is TradingView that I'm running. This is another funded account that I got. And then the main one that we use is this. Let me just show you guys. So we normally work with this one, which we still have on. So if you have any trades, we can still take them. There's just no trades on there. So I just thought I'd do something a little bit different today, different picture. And then I'm just using this one today. And then the FungiFX one, I do have an instant account with them. I haven't got it up here at the moment. I could show it to you. It's a 100,000 account. But it's it doesn't have, it's got TradingView, but it doesn't seem to have this on it. But I like the C Trader. That's actually quite good. I prefer it. But this TradingView is quite good as well. And then on my cash account, I use MetaTrader. But I don't want to put that up here as well, because it just overcomplicates things and drives things insane. And then you guys can't really trade with me on that account anyway, because it's my cash account. So yeah, so with FungiFX, I've actually got a $100,000 instant account, which is live, and it's about, I think, 700 or something in profit. Let me go and have a look. Am I able to open it? I'm gonna open it up if I, no, but then I'm gonna have too many things open now. I'm gonna mess around with this. Just now my computer's it's got all these different trading platforms open. Let's just wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is TradingView that's on here. There's one of the accounts on it. And then MT5, you can open all the charts like this. This is not something that I normally do on my account. It's nice for a watch list. But if I want to look at a chart, then I open it up. I want to see the chart. I have it open like this, but I don't sit and watch charts like that generally, because what actually happens is you start confusing yourself too much. But in general, it's nice for a little watch list of about 6 to 8, shares, and you can just keep an eye on what you're watching recently and just open them up as you go. You can see what's happening. It's handy for that. MetaTrader, you can open millions. But the trouble with MetaTrader is it can't do this. You see, like if I want to buy gold now, I can click buy, and then I can work out my stop loss and my take profit. And I can't do it on MetaTrader. On MetaTrader, I've got to know my trade sizes, and there are programs that you can download off MQL5 which help you with that. But MetaTrader has fallen behind a little bit. I got to say, they have actually fallen behind, because all the trading platforms have got this facility where you can work out your stop loss without too much complication and understanding lot sizes and pip sizes and all that kind of thing. And it really is so much easier to trade when you can do this. It's quicker, easier, especially if you're trading for those guys like, for example, like you, Shane, you trade on the lower time frames. You don't have time to now sit and try and work out what your lot size is. Now, what I would normally do in those situations is know exactly what my lot sizes are against my account and all the rest of it. But, if you suddenly pick a trade, you see a trade, you want to take a trade, it's so nice to have that ability to work out your stop loss size right there and then without it being overcomplicated. Because what I noticed with those programs from MQL5 as well, that you put on your MetaTrader, is they only work per chart. It doesn't work for the entire platform. So you have to download it onto each individual chart, and then it kind of gets in the way. I actually just work out my my sizes on my trades on MetaTrader, and I know what I'm trading against on my broker. So I know what my broker leverage is. I know what my trade sizes are, and I just work according to those trade sizes. But yeah, I like TradingView is quite good, and of course that CTrader is quite good. On the other one, okay, let me show you. The other one's MatchTrader on that other account. Let me show you that account. Hopefully it'll just open here and it won't go insane or anything. And I'll show it to you and just you can see for yourself. I don't have any trades open here at the moment either, but this one is the very old. Let's see if it comes up here. Trader markets. Doesn't seem to show it here. And let me just go over here and see if it picks it up. See if I can find it. Fungible FX. There it is. Okay, I just want to show you this. This is the Fungible FX. Basically, what you get. It's a match trader, and it doesn't really offer a lot. You can go with a trading view, or you can go with the match trader itself. The match trader does allow you to have up to 4 charts. Okay, like that. But then on the trading view side, it kind of doesn't, some reason or another. But it's a very basic program that they offer, but you do get this situation where you can have 4 charts or whatever the case. So it is a very basic sort of account. Okay, that we'll have to close so that we can go on with this. So I'm just gonna there. How many different trading platforms can you have? Once you've traded on one, you can trade on all of them. It's not that difficult. Pretty straightforward. They're all pretty straightforward. And I don't need a lot from a trading platform. I just need to be able to draw lines, and I need to be able to draw support and resistance. I do like to be able to have my watch list and what have you in front of me. What else do I need? I do like the fact that you can calculate stop loss and that sort of thing. That's one thing that does irritate me with MetaTrader. If one day they could fix that, that would be great. But yeah, no, I don't need a lot from a trading platform. I don't need a bunch of indicators. That's for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, if you're using MT5, then yeah, you'll probably be fine with that. Once again, okay, there we go. Now the full screen is just better and easier to work with. So what can you guys tell me? How's your week been, by the way? Have you got anything interesting on the go? Anything interesting to tell us? We all know that trading's 50-50 no matter what you do. And this United States dollar, Japanese yen, I still like it quite a lot. Which one shall we play around with? United States. Let's go through the markets, just see what we got here. I just want to see down here, there was dum. Let's see, what else have we got? Is that all you got? Okay. Euro CAD, Euro Canadian dollar. But iffy. Looks more short than long, eh? Euro, Great British Pound we had a look at now. Euro, US dollar. Is the Euro, US dollar going to go long or short? Everything kind of looks a bit weak at the moment. Gotta say, nothing looks 100% strong. There's not a lot to trade at the moment. Nothing that's shouting at me and saying, let's trade this. Bitcoin. See what I'm waiting for on Bitcoin now is this to come back down here. If you're a Bitcoin trader, probably going to get some money if it comes back down to this level. Also, we can put a trend line in Bitcoin, sort of from down here along that road over there. Gives you a good idea where it's going. Does appear to be rather bullish. For those of you that trade oil, some of you will trade WTI, some of you will trade Brent, but you'll notice that the charts are the same. So don't trade both. They're exactly the same. They're just a different price, right? Look at that. WTI, Brent, it's oil, okay? So just trade one of them, right? Don't trade both of them. What happened to US dollars today? Oh, no. Went insane there. There you go. That's better. So yeah, interesting that South Africa's got to go and plead its case to try and get itself back on a level footing again with the rest of the world. Things have been rather off. Slim pickings at the moment. Yeah, Shane, it is slim pickings at the moment. The pickings have been rather slim. I gotta say, it hasn't been this week. It hasn't really it hasn't woken me up and said, trade. I haven't. Last week was okay. Last week was reasonable. Last week we had some reasonable trades in, but this week I find myself searching, and that's kind of the last thing you want to do is find yourself searching for trades, because that detracts from the patience. And once you take the patience away, then you start to have issues with your trades, because you start forcing trades. And when you start forcing trades, that's when you start losing, which is why so many traders lose on the lower time frames, is because you're dropping down lower time frames and you're searching for those trades and you're trying to get those trades as quickly as possible. And like I've said to you guys before, my goal is not to sit here and boast about my trades or try and tell you can become rich in a day or whatever the case. My goal is to make you competent. My goal is to make sure that you can stay in the game and you can understand that trading is complicated, more complicated than you think. Trading itself is actually easy. The actual charts, the actual buy and sell, the actual playing around with this stuff here, that's easy. That's the easy part. The difficult part is the psychological part, the ability to get around FOMO, the ability to get around fear, the ability to sit on your hands and wait for a trade and be patient. You know what it takes to be patient? To sit and have no trade for the day. Absolutely no trade. To think, what am I going to do? You know, this is why I say to you, don't get into trading with a view of making money every day or a view of making money every week. Rather work it over a period of a year. Because if you need to make money every single day, what's going to happen to you is very simple. You're going to drop to the 5-minute, 1-minute time frames to try and make the money, because you can't make it on the higher time frames because it's too slow and you're impatient. You need it today. So you need the money today. You want to make $200 a day. I'm just using that as a round figure. Maybe you're a $1,000 guy. Maybe you're a $50 guy. I don't know. So now you need this money every single day. And what's going to happen to you, like I said earlier, I think I said it earlier in this video, is you're going to get on and you're going to get into the trades. And the first trade you take, instead of winning $200 and saying, I'm done for the day, you lose $200. Unless, of course, you're on YouTube, in which case you'll say, I won $200. But in reality, you'll lose $200 on the first trade. Then you're not done for the day. Because now you need to get the $200 back, and you need to make $200. So now you've got to make $400. Tricky, isn't it? Now you take the next trade, knowing that you don't only need to make $200, now you need to make $400 just to get yourself up there. What happens? Second trade, you lose another $200. Now you're $400 down. Now you got a problem. Now you got to make $600 on the next trade. The hour's gone. The so-called I'll trade for an hour, that's gone. You're into the second, third, fourth hour now, looking for trades, forcing trades, searching for trades on those 5-minute charts, man, getting in there. I need another trade because I'm $400 down, and I need to make 600 so that I got 200 at the end of the day. So you get the third trade in. What does it do? Loses $200, if not more. Now you're $600 down. You're 4 or 5 hours into the day. You've got to make $800 just to have a $200 profit at the end of the day, and it's not working out. You take the next trade, you know what you do? You blow the account. So no, that's not how you trade. It's never going to work. Believe me, been there, tried it, done it. It just, you end up chasing your tail. And if you do decide after a few trades, I've lost too much today, I'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's still working on your psychology. It's still there. It doesn't go away. It's still reminding you that you lost $600 yesterday. And even if you make 200 today, you're still 400 down. It's not going to go away. It's not going to leave you. So after that first hour, you're going to think, well, maybe I'm having a better day today. I've won $200. Maybe I can hit another trade here and get that lot back. It just never works. So effectively, I don't even look at the profit and loss anymore. What I look at is, can I make this profitable over a period of 12 months? Can I make it relaxing? Can I make it easy so I don't have to sit here and stress about it? And then I understand that I'm going to have losing days. I'm going to have winning days. In fact, I'm going to have losing weeks. I'm going to have winning weeks. But as long as the winning weeks outweigh the losing weeks, then somewhere down the line, it should balance out and it should make you a profit at the end of the year. That's the reason that I always tell you guys that you need to at least have a decent capital to start trading with so that you can make some money. Okay. Shane says he's a 0.01 kind of guy. Cool. And he says, ouch. Yeah, small trades. Learning in small trades is a good thing. It's the best way. WM Digital is asking about gold. And here's gold, guys. And I spoke about it earlier. There's a 50-50 feeling on gold. Some people reckon it's going to go all the way up to 7,000. Some people reckon it's going to go to 1,500. Just trade what you see. What do you see at the moment? At the moment, it's still bearish. It's not bullish. This is not bullish. Nowhere close. But in the short term, you've got a bullish trade up to this gap. It's probably going to close this gap. Trouble with gaps like this, guys, is it's not I know you guys have seen on the internet this fair value gap, and I've shown you guys how to trade a fair value gap. I've even got a video on it for you, but I don't trade with that stuff. But it's fancy fandangled things, and they sometimes can work. But if you were trading with a fair value gap, there's the fair value gap right there, which has already been taken out. But these gaps are just normal gaps that are left in the market for whatever reason, over weekends, public holidays, closing, whatever. So it closes there, it opens there, it leaves a gap. The trouble is people believe the gaps need to be filled immediately, and they don't. They can be filled in a year's time. Gaps will always be filled, but not necessarily today, not necessarily tomorrow. They will always get filled, but they could get filled at some time in the really far future. So the analogy that gaps always get filled means they get filled, but at any old time. So there's no time period to it. There's no timing to it. I once heard someone say that, that's rubbish. Gaps don't get filled. They always get filled. That you can prove. They always, always, always get filled. It's just a question of when they get filled. They get filled at some stage in the future. So this might not necessarily get filled now. So you cannot rely on a buy here with a view to it filling that gap, because that's not necessarily going to happen, because this is not an area where there's liquidity. What's our sole job in the market? Our sole job in the market is to look for liquidity. How do we find liquidity? Support and resistance, supply and demand, and we look at the trends where people are buying and selling. You can look at maybe if you're into that stuff, a fair value gap or something like that, but I don't bother with that. I do know how to do it, and it can be useful to you if you really want to get involved. It just overcomplicates things. But that gap doesn't show you any liquidity whatsoever. What it shows you is just a big change in motion, a big change or a big move in the closed period. That's all. A lot of money moved out there. Nobody left any money there. It's just a big gap. The gap will just get filled. That's all. It's got no real meaning to it, or any fancy fandangled meaning to it, or anything like that. But what would I do with gold at the moment? I would sit on my hands. That's what I would do with gold at the moment. Why am I sitting on my hands? Well, there's a demand of money there. Look at that. Okay. There's a gap. There's a trend going downwards, not upwards. It's falling down. There's no break of structure. It's not at the end of structure. It's in the middle of nowhere, effectively. I could take it and make it much smaller and make it more unreliable information, and take it down to lower time frames and go insane with it and try and force a trade here. But it is clearly not necessary. But what it has done, it played out this head and shoulders to the T. So there's the head, and it projected that, and it hit that level. So that was your head and shoulders level. It took that out. So that cleaned up. And now it's recovering from that, come back retest, and trying to go back up. If it stays bearish, it's probably going to continue on down. As I say, I think gold is going to settle in this area. I think it's going to settle in this sort of range for a while. I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. My trade for gold is sit on your hands and wait. You know, so many traders lose money because they're incapable of sitting on their hands, because they can't be patient. Saw an interesting video on WD GAN. Okay, that's interesting. Get the title, give it out to us. Let's have a look. Is gold forming a bear flag? Well, on what time frame there, Shane? But it's no, it's not. This is not a bear flag. This is actually it's in structure. It's actually in structure. I just want to see if I can draw a trend line along here. You can see effectively, see that, Shane? It's effectively in structure. Going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's in structure. And at the moment, it's in the middle of the structure, but it's in a bearish structure. So there's no pennant or flag pattern or anything here. It's It's kind of just falling down. It's in a structure. It's in a bearish structure. If it hits the top there and doesn't break out, you could take a short. You could have taken a long from this level, because there's the buyers getting back in, and there's the green candle, and she's going back up. So yeah, gold is effectively at the moment a sit on your hands. It's in the middle. Probably going to continue on to the top. So if you were a high risk trader, if you were ready to take a quick one, you might think, I can quickly grab a little bit off here and take it to the top. But remember what I said about risk to reward is now your risk is more than your reward. Effectively, your reward is sort of halfway, and your risk is way down here. So you got more risk than reward. So you got to watch your risk to reward when you take these quick trades. But if you're quite prepared to take a quick trade with a tight stop loss within reward areas, then you could do that. My choice on it at the moment would be long, because it's bounced off the bottom here, and I would expect it to complete its pattern. That's about it. It would be a long choice on gold at the moment. It's good that you're seeing things, Shane, because patterns are important. I don't know if you've downloaded off Google, like you get these pages with all the patterns on. They're quite handy. I wish I had one here to show you right now. They're quite handy, and it's very helpful, very, very helpful in the markets for you. You can get quite a bit out of it. You know, if you just study a few of the more popular patterns, then I mean, the head and shoulders is one of my favorites. There's the cup and handle. There's the flag patterns the flag patterns are one of the best, flags and patterns. And then you start getting a few other weird and wonderful patterns. And then there's your double top, triple tops, all that. And if you can just keep those in your mind, you'll be surprised how often you spot them looking at a chart that's clean, that isn't full of lines and what have you. Because I've seen some traders' charts and they scare me with lines after lines after lines after lines after lines after lines after. Should I go on? And then some moving averages, and then some other indicators, and all I see is this confusing disaster. And I look at it, and the trader says to me or asks me a question. I'm like, I can't answer it. You have to take all that stuff off. I can't see. No, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You just get sucked in to all these different systems. You get sucked into all these different indicators, and it's easy to get sucked into that because it's like a new shiny toy when another indicator comes along to learn. Yeah, maybe that one will work. You see, the trouble with systems and indicators is, how many times have I said to you guys that systems don't make you money? I've said it a million times. Systems don't make you money. Always about the end of the day. So I saw a warning there. Okay. So it's always about the strategy. Systems will never ever make you the money. United States dollar, South African rand. I still got to see what's going to happen with this one. It's actually quite crazy how many people still believe that a system or a course or a strategy or an indicator will make them the money in the markets. And at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you have a system or a strategy that you've learned, you shiny strategy, and you use it for a while, a strategy system, and you use it for a while, and it works for a while, and then it starts losing, and it loses 4 or 5 times. So then you go on YouTube or you go on another course, I don't know, and you look for a new one, and then you start using that. So you move on to that, and that's the new toy, and you use that for a while, and then you go to the next one, and then try using that because that one failed. You're on the next one, and you're using that, and then that starts failing, and then you use, And it's a vicious circle. You go round and round. You end up going back to where you started. And that works again, and then that fails. And then, even if it's only tweaking your system, not changing your system completely, you keep changing it because you think the system's causing you to lose. And it's not the system that's causing you to lose. It's the strategy that's causing you to win and lose. And at the end of the day, if you're not following the strategy, if you're not following your psychology, then you're going to lose. If you're not following your business plan, if you're not patient, if you're not sitting on your hands, if you're getting FOMO, if you're over trading, there's so many different things that come into it. And that's what causes the losses. You know, all of these systems work, every single system. There's guys out there that'll sell you courses. They're not fake courses. They work. They're real. They work. They've all been back tested by some evil genius, and they work. They're good systems. The problem is, it's not the system that makes the money. The market's 50-50. The system only gives you high probability. That's all it does. It gives you high probability. If you took all the systems off the board and as Nick does, showing that you use a random number generator, it's the same. It's exactly the same thing. But you won't be confident taking the trade because you won't believe in it. And that's where the difference comes in. That's why a system gives you that high probability trade, because you have a belief in it, because you've drawn a line in the sand. That's what a system gives you, is that line in the sand that says, if I go on that side of the line, it's going to go well. And if I go on that side of the line, I'm going to fall off the cliff. That gives you the confidence to move ahead with the trade. That's the system. But now, making the money off of it, that's a completely different ballgame. Because, you see, if you believe wholeheartedly in your system, let's say you only believe in the system and you think the system's going to make you the money, it's extremely psychologically disappointing when it doesn't work for you, when it goes wrong. And you can't understand it, and you start questioning the system. How could this happen? This system's supposed to work. I paid $5,000 for my course, and they said it would work. I used half my capital to pay for that course, just to get into trading. And now it didn't work. What's wrong with the system? Contact the people that sold you the course. The system's not working. Yes, it does. We've proven over and over again that the system works. And then you find out it's not the system that makes you the money. It's your psychology. Yeah, no, it's actually quite interesting. Somebody asked how you choose the right resistance area. How do you choose the right resistance area? Kevin says, love my thongs. No worries, Shane. I wouldn't boot you. There's a few guys on this group here that, like, you guys always make my day. Okay, so someone asked me, how do you choose the right resistance area? So which one shall we do it on? I mean, we can do it on any of these, actually. There we go. So to choose the right resistance area is actually quite simple. We go to the day chart, and this looks like it's in quite a range. And then we put it on a line chart, as we always do. The line chart is so that we get the closing prices, that's all. And then the lowest area that the price always gets to. This is a support area. You can choose the resistance area as well. So a support area would be the lowest area that the price gets to every time. Take the lowest point, work it up to the most recent sort of points, and there's your support area. Resistance might be more tricky here because there's these points here, but in a similar vein, you just take it. Why do we draw a rectangle? Because it's an area of liquidity. And that's kind of your area of resistance. And that's your range. It's in that range. Then you just put it back on candles, not bars, candles. Some people trade with bars. Now, if you guys know how to trade with bars, ooh, interesting little thing. I'm not going to confuse you with that. Not at all. We're not going to go there. But yeah, candles are much easier. There's one trader that only trades with bars. Ooh. But yeah, there you go. And then you take it back to the 4 hour. The reason we take it from the higher time frame is because it's more reliable. Now on the 4 hour where you're trading, you can literally see where your resistance is, you can see where your support is, and you can see what your trend is doing, you can see where your range is. You know you can trade off the bottom here, so you know where your risk to reward is. That's what I use support and resistance for mainly, is either to trade out of it or to at least know where I am on the chart, on the picture. Just gives me a line in the sand, as I talked about earlier, and then you can work your trends and you can work your supply and demand off of that. See where you are, but you can see this is trending down. This gives you a nice big picture. So this is the Euro Great British Pound on the 4 hour. There is in the background. It's trending down. So what has it done? It's come off of this higher level here, which is the resistance, bounced, and it's got to go down to the lower level here. And in the way down, it's going to be bearish all the way down to that. And then it'll probably go up break structure and head on back to the top. It's not difficult to trade the system. It's just the psychology that makes the, oops, press the right thing here, that makes the difference. If you remove the fear and FOMO from your trades, you become a little bit patient, you might actually get something right. Okay, so Sonia, cheers, Sonia. Must go eat. You're from Austria, Vienna. Sorry for the joke, Sonia, but many people from Austria and Vienna must eat. No, Sonia, I understand. It's obviously dinner time and all the rest of it. All good. Morning, Brummy. Good to see you. Bye, Sonia. Bye, Sonia. Switch to the line charts only and watch Rob's videos on support and resistance. Yeah. Brian's asking how come I'm back on TradingView. It's because you weren't here at the beginning of the video, but I'll show you now. Set up a live account with Pipperstone UK based on Booker and started with placing trades. On TradingView and rescaled it was raw account with a spread. It was rocket high, low. Now I've set up MT5 with Pipperstone as a standard account as they don't offer on TradingView. Okay. Rami, I've got like so many different accounts. I thought I'd just have a different view today. Okay, that's all it is. The other one is still here. Look, there you go. There's the old one. If it makes you comfortable, there you go. Still there. We haven't moved it. And if there's any trades you want to take on it, that's great. It's just that there's nothing to trade at the moment. And I just thought we'd have a bit of a change of scenery today. All the platforms are the same to me. I've traded on so many different platforms. It's just a different key here and there. So that's all it's about. Okay, so I just thought we'd trade a bit of TradingView today. It's a bit of something different. So it's something different to look at because you got to see my face every single time. And but at least I can change the charts a little bit. That's fun. I just thought I'd use this today. It's just another account that we got. That's all. Okay. No worries. But for the group, if we take a trade for the group, I'll still do it on the other C Trader one, and have a look at that. That's not Fundra FX. That's Funded Trader Markets. But last week, you remember we had that strange trade where they took us out on stop loss and the price hadn't even reached it. That's working on my mind there as to what's going on there. So, you know, I like the idea that funded accounts are here for you guys, and that the guys that don't have the money to get into the markets, it's a fantastic way for you to get into the markets and maybe start making some money. But do I trust the industry? Not 100%, guys. No. I prefer the cash account scenario if you can afford it. I'd always go with the cash account. The only reason that I'm playing with these funded accounts is so that you guys can get an entry into the market if you don't have huge sums of money to play with. And also, it's a good way if you let's say you've got $100,000 to put in the account, and I say to you, put the $100,000 in the account, and it doesn't work out for you because your psychology doesn't work out for you. You know, the trouble with trading is in the beginning, you're always most likely going to lose. It's bad news, but that's how it is. And what better way than to just get yourself a funded account, pay for it, and if you win, you make some money. If you don't, you lose such a small amount. You paid 100, 200, whatever for the account. It's no big deal. But if you lose $20,000 off your 100,000, it could be life-changing for you. And I just cannot, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot tell you guys that you're going to make money in the first or in the beginning, because you're not. You know, if you do, you're an extremely lucky person. Most traders that are beginners won't make money probably in the first year. It takes time. It takes time, and I just think that it's a great way for you to get an entry into the market. I myself, last year, if you'd asked me, should I get a prop firm account, I would have told you no, definitely not. But this year, I did change my view on it, as you know, as you see. And for that reason, for the reason that it gives you an opportunity to learn, for you guys to get into the market and to make some dosh. Now I'm also testing out the instant account to see if it eventually will pay out, or if you actually will get your share of the money, because honestly, can't tell you. And I've got to try these things out for myself as well. So while I maintain my own cash account always, because that's where the money is, and my own investment accounts are really important, I also am testing out these funded accounts so that I get a better picture of what's going on. Because there's no point in me telling you guys to have a funded account and then I don't know anything about them myself. Not that I know a lot about them, but I know enough to say this is how it works, okay? And if you're working with it, you get a better idea of it. So I don't know if you guys are with me on this, but that's why we're doing it this way. So I'm trying out these different funded accounts, and I'm seeing how it operates, how the industry operates. Do I trust it 100%? Guys, from the bottom of my heart, no, I don't. But it helps, and it is a help. And at least you're not risking all your money from the start. But what I would recommend, and I don't recommend or give advice, sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. But what I would do, is if I was in your shoes and I was starting out and I was starting from the beginning, is I would learn with this. And then once I'm comfortable that I'm good at it, then I would take my real money, put it in a brokerage account, nail it. Okay, then I know I'm nailing it, I know what I'm doing. But a demo account's not going to help you guys. A full-on demo account's not going to help you, because with that, you know there's absolutely nothing to lose. But at least with a funded account, you know you've paid for the account, you know you've got something to lose, and you know you can actually make profits out of it. Even an instant account or whatever, you know you can make profits with it. So you're going to try and keep that account at all costs. So that's going to affect your trading correctly, in the sense that you'll know that while I don't stand to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, I do still stand to lose money. And so I'm going to try and hold on to that with all my might. It may get a little bit more difficult when you start using a full-on cash account, because then it suddenly becomes a full-on cash account for you. There is a slight difference, but at least you'll have a lot more experience of trying to hold on to an account by the time you get to it, and you'll be more competent in staying in the game, not just willy-nilly throwing the money at the wall. That's where I am with this at the moment. I don't know. I could change my mind completely in 6 months' time about the whole industry. I don't know. It's just where I am with it at the moment. And that's my feeling on it at the moment. That's what I've worked out. Okay. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's where I am with it at the moment. Yeah, Shane, IG is expensive. Anyone that can recommend a regulated low spread account that connects with Trading View? Black Bull does, yes. There's a few. Geez, I can't remember now all the names. If you go on Trading View, I can't do it on this one, but if you go at the bottom, there's a bit there that actually tells you what brokers, what are their top brokers. You can actually click on that. If you go into the Trading View platform, you can click on the bottom. It'll tell you which brokers actually affiliate with them quite nicely. But there's quite a few. Oanda does as well. If you're Australian or New Zealand, I'm not sure, where are they? And then there's quite a few. I know that mine in South Africa doesn't. So I use MetaTrader 5. But then IG does, by the way, as far as I know. I think if you're with IG Brummy, I think they do connect to TradingView, by the way. But yeah, down 1,000 on a 20K account. You seem to be losing a lot. It's totally different using a demo account. It is. It's completely different on a demo account. So what you got to look at, as Shane says, that's 6% course of time. What you got to look at, like I said, is if you go through the stages, you go through the demo, you go through the course, you go through that whole thing. Then you go into funded accounts, and then you learn to keep the accounts, and then from there you can sort of migrate over to your own hard-earned cash in the bank. And by the time you get there, you should be pretty proficient, at least at the technical side of the business. It's the psychological side that you've got to get over the steps with. So it's very easy to become proficient on the technical side within a week or two, but it's very difficult to become proficient psychologically. That's why I say maybe small steps is not a bad thing. Just my thought. Yeah, I still got an IG account, but I don't use it much. They had a problem with moving large sums of money between South Africa and the UK. I don't know why, and they were just up against it. So I kind of left it at a very low funded account, or not funded, cash account, a very low amount, because of that. But I can trade like mega South African shares on IG, but when it comes to wanting to trade the S&P 500 and all that, it becomes complicated with them because of the movement of the money overseas. And so my GT account is fantastic because they just trade anywhere in the world, all over the world, from South Africa. I can trade S&P 500. I can trade the Chinese market. I can trade whatever I like. It's so much easier, and they're cheaper. So much cheaper, so much less red tape, so much easier, and very trustworthy. And yeah, so the IG account just lies there. Coffee's cold already. Gosh, what time is it? Ouch. I need one of those coffee makers in here, man. Gosh. That'll be better. Sit here bubbling And you can hear it on the microphone. You know, that would be great. Ah, kitchen's close by, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's another option. Shane actually brings it up quite nicely now. Thanks, Shane, for reminding me. That's an option that I used to actually tell guys in the past. As if, and that was before I started with trying out funded accounts and things like that. When I only used cash accounts for you guys, then I would tell people, don't trade huge sums of money. Trade with a 0.01, trade with something really small, trade with $10, whatever the case. It's real money, because I can guarantee you, with your first trade ever in the markets, if you're losing $1, you're going to start sweating, because it's real money, and you're like, ooh, I'm losing, you know. It's insane. It's actually insane how your body changes, how your psychology changes when there's money in the market. And it just takes some time to get used to the size of trades, the size of money that's in the market. And it also equates to your own personal wealth, and also how much you can afford. It really does. If you're a trust fund baby and you've just got millions in the bank, and you've never been poor, and for you money is not much, then these small amounts of money to trade with would be easy. But if you've worked really, really hard for the money, and you've been struggling, you know, to make it bigger and to grow it and what have you, then every cent that you lose or goes into the market is actually quite painful. And you'll be surprised how much the psychological pain can hurt if you go overboard with the amount that you will lose or win on a daily basis. So you've got to scale yourself up with that. But once you understand that you're going to make more on the wins and lose less on your losses, and you're going to stay in the game and so on, then you start to become more comfortable with the larger trading amounts. But that takes time. And we're not talking days, weeks. We're talking years. Okay, it takes time to build that up, to build that confidence up with the amount of money that you trade. I also always tell people, don't take all the money and put it in the brokerage account. It doesn't matter how big the broker is. I mean, I've been trading with my broker for close on 30 years. I mean, yeah, 20 something. But anyway, that particular broker I'm talking about. So for me, that's trustworthy. You think, wow, you know, nothing can go wrong. But there was a blip in the system about 20 years ago when they almost disappeared. So, you know, it can happen. So what I say is, if you're going to trade a $20,000 account, don't put $1 million in there. Don't put $100,000 in there and leave it with them. Leave the money in your bank, put it in a fixed deposit, whatever, on your shares or on your investment account or whatever. And the amount you want to trade with, put in your trading account. If it's a $20,000 account, take $20,000, put it in your trading account and trade with that money. Don't try and leave too much money in there. And then if that account grows, let's say you're a fantastic trader. Let's say you're one of the best traders in the world that's ever existed. You're the trading guru. And you somehow turn that $20,000 into $30,000. Notice I didn't say 40. And you leave it there. Don't leave it there. Take the $10,000 out. Put it wherever you keep the money, and leave that account as a $20,000 account. It helps with the psychology. It helps with the balance. It really does, because then you keep the account at that level always. I guarantee you, if you go up to 30,000 and now you've got a $30,000 account, you're still working on the $20,000 system. When you start losing that $10,000 profit, it somehow doesn't affect you as much as if you were losing it off the 20,000. So you're like, oh, I'll get it back tomorrow. I'll get it back. Don't worry. And before you know, you're at 19,000. So you didn't like try hard enough, let's say. But if you keep the account at 20,000 and you take the profits out, you'll work that much harder to keep it at that level. You'll be that much more careful, you'll be less reckless, and you'll be more patient about your trades. It's important to think about it. It's important. I guess I wasn't looking just now when this happened, but that spiked through, but then it didn't go. Interesting that. Still waiting for Brent to do its thing and go. I'll tell you what, if Brent does go, then we're looking for that level all the way up there. If Brent does go, that would be the level we're targeting. Look at that. There's a big gap between here and there. Big run. So between 66 and 73. Massive, massive gap. For that, make that money back up. That'll be nice. That'll be a nice trade. So I'm waiting for Brent. Brent will be a goodie. Brent will be a nice one, man. A really nice one. So let me see. I would look on the other. It'll be the same one. I need to look on the other. Got burnt trading stocks on IG. IG is expensive on their fees and also their spreads. What you've got to watch out for, guys, not just fees, spreads. You know that you pay 64.81, and if you sell it right now, you know you're going to get like 64.50 or something for it. That's, you know, sometimes the spreads are insanely large. You know, when we started trading 30 years ago, 33 years ago, whenever it was, and we didn't have computers and that, the spreads were massive, absolutely massive. If you paid $50 for a trade, I mean, you would only be able to sell it for 48 on the same day if it was in a share or something like that. It was insane, the amount of spread. So be careful of that as well, and I think they might be expensive on that side as well. So the tighter the spreads, also you've got to watch out for that as well. You don't have much choice on the funded accounts. On the funded accounts, you take what you get. But if you open a cash account with a broker, you can negotiate that down and make it as small as possible. You know, if you trade stocks right, you can actually learn a lot trading stocks. And that's actually something else that I would tell a beginner trader. You know, a lot of beginner traders will jump in, and a lot of guys got involved in trading recently because of crypto. And crypto is literally one of the most volatile things on earth. And you get involved in crypto, and crypto just wipes their accounts out, just wipes them out left, right, and center. So then they try Forex, and then Forex is pretty fast as well. And then you end up on indexes and commodities and so on. But I always say to beginner traders, if you want to start, a good place to start would be investing in shares or buying a few shares and buying it on a one-to-one, not on a geared situation like this. And learning how the markets move, learning a bit about markets, learn about shares. You know, I learned all about shares before I got involved with anything. And it was, you know, learning about the price to earnings ratios, learning how to read statements of companies, who the CEOs are, all that sort of stuff. That's how we started out. You know, we didn't start out on Forex and indexes and things like that. We didn't really have this. And then this came along, and it was really easy for me to transition into leverage trading. Very easy for me to transition into Forex and indexes. I still don't really trade Bitcoin or crypto or anything like that, but it's mainly me. I don't believe in crypto. I believe it's fresh air. That's my belief. And I've got an adverse feeling towards crypto. So I don't play with it. I don't trade it. I don't trust it. It's a bit like, these funded accounts we're playing with. I'll play with it, but I don't trust it. So it's like Bitcoin. I'll trade it, but trust is low, on holding it. Whereas I'll buy an Amazon, an Nvidia, or whatever, McDonald's, and hold it till the sky changes color. I'll just buy it because I trust the fact that it's a standing business. It's a real business that people buy and sell things from, or manufacture, or whatever the case. And that makes all the difference to me because it's real. Sometimes there's a saying, keep it real, And I know they've got an asset value, a price to earnings. I know they're trying to grow their business. And there's incentive for the CEO to grow his business so that he can make more profits, so that he can get a better dividend at the end of the year. And the staff that work for the company have got an incentive to make it better so they can get good pay rises and so on and so on. So, when I buy into companies, I feel that much more comfortable than buying into something like crypto, which is for me fresh air. Forex, I'm also not uncomfortable with Forex because Forex also has an intrinsic value. It has a value. It's based on the asset value of whatever country the currency is from. And effectively, you're basically trading one currency against another. So both currencies will have their value. And the fundamentals on that is, if you really want to trade Forex fundamentally, is just to understand what each country is going through at any one particular time. You've got to be quite political, I presume, to do that fundamentally, which is why most people trade it technically with technical charts like we do. I got Philip. Good morning. And welcome to the A-Team, where we trade together, we choose trades together, and we actually trade one of the funded accounts together, and we have a bit of fun. And the guys learn to trade from my million years experience when I started out with the dinosaurs, and that would make me immortal, wouldn't it? Kevin, keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky, have a good one, make lots of money, and hopefully it rains in Scotland there for you. I've got loads of rain here in Cape Town at the moment. Rainy day today for me. So yeah, as you can see, jumper, got a jersey on today. It's nice. Even then, it's not that cold. I'm still warm, so not that bad. So yeah, we have a new member on the A-Team here with us today, joining us on the live show. Good to have you on board. Join us on Thursday. If you leave a comment on the normal videos, then you can join us for the live draw for a 2-step 10K challenge account. And if you've got a comment in there, you could be one of the lucky winners, man. So don't miss that. That's always fun. Japan. What are we doing with Japan today? Are we going to buy it? I said we were going to sell it, right? We're waiting for it to get below that line. Gets below that line, we can do something with it. So we're not going to sell that now. South African Rand hasn't changed yet, so I presume that the fundamentals have not played out yet in any way, shape, or form as far as the US dollar ZAR go. So that meeting between the two presidents is doing absolutely nothing. Brent crude oil, are we going long? Yes, but not yet. Just waiting for it to break through that line, so no trade there. And here's the trade of the day. And guess what? Remember I said earlier, guys, I didn't want to take the trade short just yet. We're waiting to see what that nasty looking green bar does as it goes back to retest. And it looks like it wants to go back into the range. So if it goes back onto that trend, then it goes back into that trend, then it's going to continue on to the long side. I don't see that might not happen. It could happen. So therefore, we haven't taken the short trade on that yet. We will wait and see. And of course, Shane's just gone long on Brent. Okay. What time frame did you go long on Brent, Shane? Are we looking there? Brent crude oil, Brent crude oil. Let's see, what time frame have you got along on that? Because on my 4-hour, it's still a wait. I'm still sitting on my hands waiting to go long here, and I haven't got a trade yet. Maybe on the other platform. Have we got a long trade on this one on Brent? Brent crude oil, Brent crude oil, Brent crude oil should be on here. Boom. Let's just have a look at that. And actually, you're not far off there, Shane, because it does seem to be wanting to break through on this platform, seems to be wanting to break through there. Go on to the upside. So, yeah, okay. Let's go back to here and let's just have a look at this one again. You know, these platforms differ sometimes. It's quite insane. Because this is also a 4-hour chart. And I guess it depends. So Philip is UK based. It's nice to meet you, Philip. It's great to have you on board. We have a real good old chit chat on this group of guys on the live shows that get together here. We have a bit of fun, and sometimes we have a good laugh. You're welcome to say whatever you like. You're welcome to comment and whatnot, as long as it's not nasty or anything, and that's fine. Try not to swear too much. Okay, good. And I slot right in between you guys, Shane and Philip. Yeah, perfect on age. I try not to look too old, you know. Try to stay young, man. Okay, so are you using fib extensions to go along on the Brent crude oil? I think this is just a normal fib on here. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's just a normal fib. Dum, 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 dum. Do we have fib extensions? Just checking. So I don't use all these indicators, as you guys know. So yeah. Back on fib. Cool. Cool. So Brent, I'll look at Brent. Yeah. I want to go long on it. I really do. I really want to go long on it. I've heard of fusion markets. I have heard of them. Yeah, you've gone in early, Shane. I think so. I'm just looking at it and thinking, nah, you gotta sit. You gotta sit in your hands, man. You see that there's sellers coming back in here, pushing us back down. So I'm hoping to get a nice long trade off of here. Let it break through, and then I'll consider it, and then I'll get into the long. I really do believe that we've got a long, nice space going up towards here. I really do believe that it's going to go long. Look at all this. There's a long way back up to here, and I think it will go long. Now with the news that Donald has pulled out of the Ukraine peace talks and all the rest of it, you know, fundamentally it doesn't look too bad. A lot of people are against oil because they think because all the electric cars coming out, all the hybrid cars and all this rubbish, but cars actually make up a really small portion of oil's business. I mean, oil is in everything, man, everything. And besides, at the moment, what are you going to fly your airplanes with, drive your trucks with, all that sort of thing? The trucks are still diesel. And when the electricity goes off in South Africa, we use diesel to keep the electricity on, so kind of defeats the object. Yeah, no, I I still got a belief that oil is going to be around for quite a while still. And of course, the cartels will obviously try and manipulate the price in their favor. So yeah, I'm still a strong I'm still very confident in oil, and I want to buy and hold. Okay, so dum 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 dum. Check them out. Been around quite a while. All ex-Pepperstones, really decent broker in my experience. I was with IC for 10 years before. No new top, but no lows either. Electric cars are no good in Australia. I'm waiting for nuclear powered cars. I've always said that cars should be powered by magnets, by magnetism. That'll work. I mean, geez, that would be insane. I think you could do it. I think you could invent a car that runs on magnetic fields, maybe the engine or whatever the case. Not particularly the roads in the car, not like the train. More like you could get the engine to run with magnetism or something like that. That would be free energy, because nobody wants that, eh? But yeah, electric cars are no good in South Africa either, because there's really nowhere to top them up or to charge them except at home. There is one or two places where you get a charging station here and there, but you know, also the technology is a bit advanced for a lot of these dealers and equipment and whatnot. So yeah, it's not going to work out too well in South Africa. And also, just like Australia, we do have some wide distances between towns and what have you as well. These cars don't have range. I know that Tesla said they were trying to make the cars have better range, but also what you pay for an electric car is insane. Is it worth it? You know, then you pay this huge sum of money for an electric car that can't even become a vintage car, because after 10 years you can literally throw it in the dustbin because the battery's finished. But like your mobile phone, it's not going to last forever, is it? Then you've got to replace the battery pack, which is worth more than the car. Sort of. What I've heard, battery packs are quite expensive for these cars, and by the time the car's 10 years old, it's not worth as much as the battery pack is worth, so it's not worth replacing the battery pack. There's no point in having an electric car. It's insane, really. Quite crazy. So, yeah, I don't see a future for electric cars. I actually think they're going to find something else. I don't think electric cars are working out as well as they thought they would. I think everybody jumped on the bandwagon of electric cars, and maybe that's not exactly what did I do there? There we go, got rid of it. Somehow I had Fibonacci connected to my mouse. Yeah, so I don't know. My personal view is electric cars are gonna fall by the wayside eventually, and they'll get taken over by something else. But it's a good start. I mean, we're trying to get away from fossil fuels and all the rest of it. But as I say, oil is going to be around for a long time, because oil is even in the plastic of your everything. You know, your covers, your computers, your screens, everything. Oil is used in there. And then what about all the machines in the factories that are running and making things? They all need oil. They all need grease. It's just oil is so vastly used in the world. You know, people don't understand that the car market doesn't make up the majority of oil usage. It really doesn't. Fossil fuel, maybe, or fuels, petrol, diesel, yeah. But as far as the actual oil goes, it'll be around. It's not going to zero. It's not disappearing anytime soon. It's still going to be in high demand. At the moment, I don't think they've even invented a proper passenger aircraft that could not use oil. You might be able to invent something that runs on nuclear, but you need something that's clean nuclear, not disastrous nuclear. Like if you have a car crash, then the whole world blows up because it's nuclear. You know, you can't have that. But they do have some kind of nuclear technology now that they're working on that's clean. That's not disastrous like the old one. But I don't think they've released it yet or figured it out. I'm not expert in that area. That would just make me technically a genius, which I'm not. Right, okay. Cold fusion, that Back to the Future, Shane. Back to the Future car, cold fusion. Just throw rubbish in the thing on the top and poof, off it goes. Cold fusion. I like the idea. Superconductor, $1 trillion idea. Call Musk, yeah. Call him in. Let's do it. Let's get this thing on the road. Yeah, no, totally, absolutely. So, guys, I think it's time to end the stream and get on with our lives, eh? Get on with work. But yeah, it's been good having you guys here again. It's been absolutely fantastic. I love the day. You know, it takes away the loneliness of everything else and trading and stuff. And it's great to be involved. So today we used some different charts. It was a bit of fun. Something a bit different. And I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. And let's see on Thursday who's going to get that challenge account again. Don't forget to leave your comments on the other videos. The lighting's a bit different today because we've got a rainy day. Little complicated Cape Town rainy day. But even when it's raining here and it's cold, it's not cold. We're still quite warm. But thank you guys. Thanks for being here. It's been great. It's been fun. And keep your feet on the ground and reach for the sky. Don't forget to come back and watch the other videos. And don't forget to watch the training videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. I always forget to ask that, but I'm asking it today. Like, comment, and subscribe. I believe liking helps the channel. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Go and like all the videos, guys. Go and like them all. Give me a like. I'll chat to you guys soon. I hope you have a great trading week. Feel free to ask your questions in the comments. Feel free to send me an email with a question. I don't mind. I'll answer the questions. Perhaps I'll even start answering them on a video from time to time for you personally. Because, yeah, you know, I see you guys on the live shows here regularly. And if you have a question, don't feel the need to wait. You're welcome to ask it on a comment and I'll try and answer it. If I can't answer it on a comment, I will most certainly answer it on the live show or in a video. Guys, like I say, keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky. I'll chat soon. Cheers.